Good afternoon, Team Beast. For those of you joining us for the very first time, thank you for clicking on Beast Capacity Outdoors. I'm your leader, Team Beast, Daddy Beast. And this is... thank God there's no such thing as smell-o-vision right now. That's right, I said it. Thank God there's no such thing as smell-o-vision right now. Because it smells like Bandini Mountain in the backyard. No, we didn't have a bucket load of manure dropped off or anything like that. Basically, I'll show you what we used here. Dr. Earth Natural Organic Nitro Big. The high nitrogen fertilizer. It's a 722. And yeah, I just did what's called a foliar feeding and a ground feeding. Foliar meaning on the foliage, meaning you dropped it on the leaves of the plant. And I'll show you the advancement from the last video, the introduction to the garden here in a little bit. But you do it after 4 p.m. in the evening or early morning when there's something scientific and biological on the plants that is opened up about those times, and it allows for a foliar feeding to take really good effect. But whew, yeah, it smells like the ass end of a northbound cow. Whew. It is very black when it comes out of the bottle, almost like melted chocolate ice cream, and it stinks to high heaven. Okay, so a little bit of the update here. We've already harvested some of the Blue River green beans that are right there, and no dragon tongue beans yet, but we've had a couple purple queens and a handful of sugar snap peas. And as you can see here, our carrots are still, really low, and that's why I needed to feed them. And then these were transplants not too long ago that we did. And the right side, here's kind of funny. One's carrots, one's celery. Now, this right here is the celery, and this here is the carrots. I wanted to try a few things. Now, see, these were started the same time as these, and you notice the difference. And these were in the, same thing as that. Now, and here's the other ones that were planted along with them. Some are coming up, some aren't. And that right there is our one lovely cabbage that got struck by the heat that survived. That's the one that actually survived the heat wave. So I'm gonna let it grow. I'm gonna let it go to bolt and seed so I can collect it. So next year, maybe when we have a hot run, I can plant a nice hot resistant strain of cabbage. But yeah, as you can see, yeah, it's a little bright out, but our cauliflower and broccoli is coming up. And I think that's what's sucking the life out of the carrots, because they use a lot of nitrogen. And tuber roots, carrots, beets, stuff like that, take nitrogen as well. The beans produce nitrogen, for the, in their growing. But cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, they all seem to take a lot of it. Green beans, I don't know, they look sad, but they're producing. I've got to spray them down tomorrow with, once again, I'll show you that here in a little bit. I trimmed off some of the foliage from here. These are our standard heirloom romaine, Paris Island romaine lettuce, and I took off a few leaves yesterday, and they're very, very bitter, and they shouldn't be this young, but because the heat got to them and all that, I think it stressed them out, so they got bitter. And yeah, more carrots, and then our bunching onions are coming up pretty nicely. Let's see here. One thing that's really taken off, and I now know where I'm going to position some things once our you know, shade monsters out of here on Monday, is the lemon cucumbers. They seem to love that corner right there and all that shade, and about the hour or two of sun that they get, because I planted those the same time as I planted the pickle cucumbers, which I'll show you over there. And wow, there's a major difference between these two. And we've got some buds on there, and I've shaked the bush I shake the bush every morning. We get the flowers are showing up, so when you shake them, you know, about 1 o'clock, everything's dry on them, so you shake them, the bush, and it helps pollinate them. So we should be having some lemon cucumbers growing soon. We also have squash blossoms growing right here in our bucket. These are yellow squash. Blossoms are coming up nice. We haven't had any blossom drop off of these, though we have had a lot of blossom drop off of the stuff that's up here on the spa, only because we haven't been able to get them in the ground yet because our garden's going over there. But as you can see, we got a tiny loofah, and this loofah should not be that small. And that should not even be that small. But look at the tomato plants. These tomato plants are just cruising right now. I got to pull off some of the dead here. And then, of course, our cantaloupe has got some blossoms going. They should be ready to get in the ground here next week. So we'll be doing that. We'll probably do a time lapse of that sometime next week. But yeah, our tomato bushes, they're not taking off because they're not really in the ground, but they're doing really well for being in the pots for this long. And our black toms, our black tomatoes really took a beating, and they happened to come back. And there's our other two ancient watermelons. They're doing okay. There's our bell pepper plants, and there's the sweet basil that just a few weeks ago were nothing. So they're coming along pretty good. And then this is the sorry site. I planted those in the bucket. Lots of nice fertilizer, good ground, good everything. At the same time as I planted the lemon cucumbers. And well, you see how well they're doing. So that should pretty much do it for this video for Beastly Gardening. But hopefully soon the lemon cucumbers will actually have some fruit growing, because we got tons of blossoms on there. I might have to take a paintbrush to them and gently brush each one of the stamens and the flowers, because they're self-pollinating there. They got both pieces for pollinating in the same flower in the cucumbers. So I think I'm going to need to either continue shaking them, which seems to be doing the job, or even shake them and take a little soft paintbrush to them. And then, of course, the big family tree behind us here is going to be coming down on Monday. That finally got squared away. Originally, there wasn't a work order put in a month and a half ago, so got that all fixed after several phone calls and promises of being called. I've already got a couple 30% shade cloths that I'll end up having to put on the box here to keep the shade and keep it cool. The zucchini, squash, and cucumbers that I can put a shade cloth over, because Southern California's been getting little bouts of 90-degree weather, 95-degree weather, that kind of thing. And that's why I think a lot of the plants aren't doing as well as they should be. These right here in the box, they get a good amount of shade during the day, and then sun in the afternoon, as you can see right now, they get a good amount of full sunlight on the whole box for about 3 hours thereabouts in the afternoon. And then this right over here gets about an hour and a half, 2 hours, which doesn't do the Texas onions any good. The Texas onions just, they came up and they're just super small. They're not getting enough sun. But other than that, once we get the tomatoes in the ground and the trellis is up, we should see some growth spurting going on. And hopefully we'll see some growth spurt happening with this foliar feeding today. And then another one in a couple weeks. I'll do another feeding. And I think I see a few purple queens growing. Oh yeah, we got a nice purple queen. But I can't pick anything right now. I can do it tomorrow or the next day, because you got to give it a day or two after doing the foliar feeding before you can harvest anything. So, be good. Take care of yourselves, team bees. You know, take care of yourself, friends. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And as always, be good. Be kind. Team Beast. All the way.